Hello, welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now today we are touching on port. Alright, well, TAWNY, alright? It doesn't say TAWNY port because we're in Australia, so unless it comes from Portugal, it will say TAWNY or something like that. Alright, now, today we have, see I'm kind of leaning, if I was standing up normally I'd be like this. So I'm in a sumo stance position. This is going to kill the knees, but here we are. Alright, so Galway pipe. Exclusively selected Grand Tawny, aged 12 years. Alright. Bottled at 18.7%, which is a lot more than other ones, the ruby ports. Now, alright, so keep in mind, guys, the age 12 years doesn't reflect, that this just has 12-year-old juice in there, or, it's kind of like a guideline of taste like 12 years. Maybe it's minimal 12 years juice in there, and then they can have older stuff in there as well. Ooh, the knees. Alright, now, I'm just going to have a little read at the back, and then we'll pour it up. This will be my first time reaction, giving it a try. Alright, so, Galway pipe. Sir Henry Galway spent a controversial term as Governor of South Australia. A supporter of liberal liquor laws, he naturally held distinct preferences for quality liquor. Good man. He would personally select the finest pipe, which is 500-litre barrels, of Tawny to be labelled Galway's pipe. Galway Pipe Grand Tawny marches on in the style singled out by the unrepentant Sir Henry, a blend of rich character-filled grape varieties and fermented and aged in oak for an average of 12 years. See, so average of 12 years. Alright, I won't read the tasting notes, so pretty much port, fortified wines can be classed into three categories. You got your ruby ports, which is generally something that is just aged for 3 years and then bottled. Alright, so you got your tawnies, which, it can be 12, it can be the 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Alright, and then you got vintages. Vintages are the most specialist ones, alright? They're only made if a certain grapes did good that year, and, they're the best of the best. They're generally made to be aged in the bottle, so, it could be young spirit in there, but you're meant to keep it for a decade or so. But anyways, they actually want you to drink it as it is. It's already been oxidizing in the barrels. But without further ado, guys, we won't get into the technicalities and the differences in the tawnies and, we're not going to get into the politics. This was just meant to be a little review of this. My first time reactions, me uncorking it. Let's just get right into it, guys. Alright. Oh dear. Now, this was $35 here in Australia. Now, keep in mind, aged, like age statement. Alright, so the rubies can come between $6 to $10. So they're the cheapest ones you're going to get. Alrighties, here we go. Alright. Oh, look at that colour. Now, the longer port, or tawny in this sense, because it is, it's a tawny port here in Australia. We can't call it I keep saying tawny port, but actually it's just a tawny. Alright, it's a legal thing, it's not made in Portugal, it's made here in Australia. But anyways, generally, right, the rubies come across really a lot more red, alright? Now, the longer you age things in a barrel and the more oxygen gets into the barrel and starts oxidizing, it's going to start having a more copper, brown, orangey hue about it. Now this, even though it is still red, guys, there is just a brown kind of hue. It's almost like a beautiful copper hue in the redness. I mean, it's beautiful. Anyways, we're going to have a little nose. Oh my goodness. Let's just say sweet. It just reminds me of raisins, or, you know, like sultanas. The dried sultanas that you normally eat. Now just picture that with some slight caramel notes. You are getting like a vanilla oak kind of present. But otherwise, it is just really beautifully sweet, but not just one-noted sweet like what you normally get in rubies. Now, with a little bit more age, you start to get some more spice and some more other notes. I hear chocolate and those kind of notes start to come out more probably when it hits that 20, 30 years. But let's see what we get in this at least 12 years old product. Alright guys. Now technically I keep going to say Galways, but it's Galway. Now technically Galway pipe, or the actual company itself, Galway pipe, the actual company itself has been around since the 1800s. I believe they're like one of the first families, if not the first families of wine here in Australia, so that's pretty interesting. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the whole histories and all that. We're just here to see how this goes, guys. Either way, colour's beautiful. Let's just get right into it. Yeah, it is a lovely nose, guys. I mean, fortified wines, ports just don't get enough recognition. Always get overlooked, this beautiful, sweet juice. Cheers, everyone. Okay. Yeah. It's definitely a lot more thicker, a lot more syrupy than that other $6 ratio ruby. Now, let's just say this would be a great dessert thing. I mean, I'm not gonna be here and suggest for you to pair up this with that and whatever, but let's just say fortified wines are preferably a after dinner type of wine, so you'd probably want to enjoy it with some dessert, you know, like some chocolate, some cheese, I don't know. I'm sure it will go with anything, really. It's that sweet and beautiful. Wow. Anyway, guys, let me know if you drink much fortified wine. If you drink any, what's your favourite type of port? I mean, let me know in the comments. I mean, it is very lovely. Now, I just decided to open this now purely so that I just want to see how much more air, time, or oxidization in the bottle, how much more dramatically it's going to change in the next few years. It was just an interesting thought, you know. But, you know, we're not going to get deep into it. Because people may think, you know, like, oh, does it age in the bottle? You know, like, technically, not now, it wouldn't age in the bottle. But it would still oxidize or change, I'm assuming. You know, the only ones that would age in the bottle are vintage ones, alright? So, if you see a particular year on your wines or your ports or fortified wines, then that's a vintage release, alright? Just a handy little tip for you to know, but oh my goodness, my knees. Give me a stretch. Oh my goodness. Alright, back down we go. Either way, very beautiful. I mean, $35. I mean, you're going to need to want to experience it, guys. You're going to need to slowly, get into the port, the fortified wine journey. I haven't even started my wine journey, guys. I think I'm going to leave that out for now. I'm just enjoying some port, fortified wine, TAWNY. I keep going to say port. It's just something that you're used to saying, eh? But it's not technically port from Portugal. It's just TAWNY. But cheers, everyone. Yep. So, yeah, beautiful, man. Let's just say that oaky presence comes in from the back, but it just goes so sweet. Actually, how do they describe this? Now I'm going to sound like a professional. Now. The wine is... hold on. The wine is a deep garnet colour. Yes, pretty garnetty. Rich garnet colour with distinct tawny aromas. That's a great way to explain things. It's like tawny. It's like port, the tawny aromas. Of raisins. That's right, because port often just smells like raisins or sultanas. And that is what you're getting. Dried pears. Give me a look at that. You could almost say that. You could even say like dried apricots. You can say dried lots of different fruits. It's just really sweet and fruity. Now, grilled nuts and spicy dusty oak. Grilled nuts. I mean, when you think nuts, sometimes you may think like different bourbons have a nutty profile. The nuts in this kind of comes out a little bit different. I mean, if you can dig for those nutty notes, then that is awesome. I find that the older bottles that I had, that I've opened up in the past, that came across a lot more chocolatey, a lot more nutty. But this at the moment is just coming across really sweet, guys, like fruity sweet, all that raisin sweet goodness. Alright, now, what else does it say? On the palate, balanced sweetness is complemented by fresh acidity. The result is a wine of pronounced age character offset by freshness with a satisfyingly long dry finish. Yeah, I mean, but it's just sweet. If you're not used to drinking very sweet things, I mean, like if we're gonna get into the whole, like, did I already discuss this? Like, are people even wondering what is fortified wine? This is gonna make the video go a little bit longer, but maybe I already explained it. Did I? If I didn't, here I go. Alright, let's say during the fermentational period. Alright, so when people make port, they're stomping with their feet or the grapes. Alright, now normally during that period, it is going to pretty much, the yeast is going to start like eating the sugars, and then fermentation will begin, but fortified wines, they add in the brandy, hence why it can last longer. But I just thought I would give it a try. See. Huh? Oh, I think someone just walked in. Alright guys, now, so let's just say fortified wines is a lot sweeter than drinking your normal wines. Normal wines can have that winey taste. If you're not a wine drinker, you probably won't enjoy the wine taste. But let me know what your favourite fortified wine is, ladies and gents. videos going for 15 minutes. Let's just say people's attention spans don't go for this long, especially with no edits. My apologies for the visual and audio. I just figured I needed to come do this, uncork it, give you my first time reactions, and you know what? It is very beautiful. Colour, beautiful. Yep. You gotta love the smell of port, guys. Grab yourselves a bottle of port. I keep saying port. If you can afford bottles of port from Portugal, give it a try. But if not, our grand TAWNY is just perfectly fine. Beautiful, guys. Anyways, cheers everyone. Drink responsibly, and let me know your thoughts. If you have tried this, or what's your favourite wines, or let's just say I'm just appreciating something different. Cheers everyone. 16 minutes, I'm going. Yeah, acidity, dryness, but the sweet. You got to get past the sweet, man. Let's just say that brandy, just brought out the strength, but that sweetness in the grapes is just still so predominant. What do you think of fortified wines? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you all later. See you all.